As a graphic designer, I'm pretty much expected to be a big fan of modern art and design. Virtually everyone in my industry and my field are, whereas I, on the other hand, I struggle to find that same appreciation. Personally, I'd rather live in the kind of whimsical architectural world of a Diagon Alley or a Hogwarts as opposed to, say, like a modern London. And I think that there are a lot of people that feel the same way. There are reasons other than magic and adventure for why we would want to escape into a world like that. The sad part is, our ancestors did live in a visual world like that. And then the 20th century happened, with a wave of revolutions and wars and dictators, some of whom were modernism's biggest advocates. Beautiful art movements like Art Nouveau and Art Deco gave out, and we've been stuck with modernism ever since. Now, because I'm so drawn to the artistic accomplishments of previous generations, it shouldn't surprise you that I often try to draw inspiration from those accomplishments in my own trade as a graphic designer. But in my experience, doing so often produces work that just feels kind of cheesy. And I've always struggled to figure out why that is. And slowly, I think I've come closer to answering that question. And in so doing, I've come to realize what is fundamental to true and good art that is so lacking in modern conventions. So let me give you an example. I love beautifully designed calligraphy. It's just so impressive to me to think that someone could sit down and write out something like those beautifully illuminated texts of the Middle Ages. As a graphic designer in the digital age, I don't need to be able to pick up a pen or a brush and create something like that. I can just grab a cool font and be on my way. But in my experience of trying to do that, it never comes out with that same quality as it would if it had been done by scratch. So what's missing? In asking that question as I attempted to use these kinds of elements in my own design work, the answer that came to me was that one instance inspires us and the other does not. When you watch somebody create a visual like that by hand, you're witnessing the culmination of what it takes to master something. You're witnessing human excellence, and when you do, it inspires you. When a graphic designer just types it up using a pre-made font, you're not witnessing the same thing. That inspired creativity is missing, which is why as a graphic designer, when I'm trying to use elements like that, I have to do something to signal to my audience that I did something more with it than just type it out. I have to dress it up. I have to do something that's actually creative to provoke the kind of response that I would want to get, the kind of response that people have when they see truly good and beautiful art. And that for me is what's missing from a lot of modern art. How many times have you been to a modern art exhibit and said or had somebody say to you, "What's so great about that? I could do that." What they're in effect saying is, that doesn't inspire me. Show me something that I couldn't do. If you walked into a place like the Sistine Chapel and looked up at Michelangelo's masterpiece, you would never hear somebody say something like, "Meh, I could do that." Instead, we stare up at it until our necks hurt, wondering how another human being, a creature with the same starting point as you and I, could produce something so incredible. It makes us wonder and it draws us out of ourselves and the limits we place on ourselves. It inspires us. That sense of inspiration is the key ingredient that I think is missing from the philosophy that underpins modernism and the artistic movements that it inspired. The key ingredient that modernism and postmodernism seem to emphasize is self-expression, which means that everything is art and nothing is art. It means that all of those rejects from American Idol who gave it their all were actually brilliant artists and not the comic relief that they were treated as, because who among us can doubt the sincerity of their self-expression? True art should amaze us, it should impress us, and it should inspire us. It should make us wonder how another human being, made up of the same ingredients as you and I, could produce something so incredible. And then it should motivate us to realize that if we combine the same kinds of decisions as them, maybe we can produce something amazing too. Thank you guys for watching that. If you enjoyed that, then please like it and share it and subscribe and come follow along for more content. And if you want to support the making of these videos, then please consider supporting the business that makes them possible. Holdsworth Design is a digital marketing and communications company that specializes in web design, print design, branding, videography, and all that kind of stuff. So, and this is with a special emphasis on churches and ministries as well. So if you know somebody that needs those services, then please consider passing that along to them and check out the website, which is www.holdsworthdesign.com.